Hi there, welcome to this story. Please pay attention until the end. Let's go. The phone rings, and suddenly English feels heavier. Not because you know nothing, not because you never studied, but because on the phone everything changes. Maybe you know this feeling. An unknown number appears, your heart beats faster. You stare at the screen for 2 seconds too long. Before you answer, your mind starts talking first. What if I don't understand? What if I sound stupid? What if I freeze? On the phone, there is no face, no gesture, no smile, no lips moving, no little clue to help you understand. There is only a voice, fast, distant, unpredictable, and for a few seconds, even the English you know feels far away. But what if the real problem is not your English? Maybe you know more than you think. Maybe you just need a little more time. Today, she learns how to create that time. Her name was Clara. She was making coffee when the phone rang again. Not a message, not an email, a real call. The screen said London Hotel, and in 1 second, her morning became a test. For a moment, she did what many people do. She waited. One ring, two rings, three rings. Her hand was close to the phone, but her courage felt far away. And then she thought, if I don't answer now, I will still have this fear tomorrow. So she answered, not perfectly, not confidently, not like someone in a movie, just like a real person trying not to run away from her own life. She pressed the green button, and before the other person could say too much, Clara used her first piece of time. Hello, this is Clara speaking. That sentence may look simple, but it does something powerful. It tells the other person, I'm here, this is me, the conversation has started. And more importantly, it gives your brain one clear step to follow. Not 10 steps, one. Hello, this is Clara speaking. On the other side, a woman started speaking quickly. Good morning, I'm calling from the hotel regarding your reservation. Clara heard. Good morning, hotel, reservation. Then the rest became a river, too fast to catch, too important to ignore. But this time she did not pretend to understand. She did not say yes just to escape the discomfort. She did something better. She slowed the moment down. Sorry, could you say that again? Not weak, not embarrassing, not wrong, just clear. The woman from the hotel said, Can I confirm your full name, please? Clara understood this time. Not every word perfectly, but enough. And that was the first lesson. You don't need to catch everything to respond to something. So she answered slowly, Yes, of course. My full name is Clara Almeida. Simple, clear, useful, not impressive English, real English. The kind of English that solves a real problem. Then came the next question. Can I confirm your booking number? For 1 second, Clara felt the panic return. Booking number. Where was it? Email? App? Screenshot? Her mind wanted to run, but now she had a sentence that gave her time. She said, Let me check that for you. And just like that, the silence became useful. She was not lost. She was looking. She was not failing. She was handling it. Because this phrase does something beautiful. It turns panic into a pause. Then she found it. A number in the email. Small, hidden, almost invisible, but enough. She read it slowly. Yes, the booking number is 482719. And the woman on the phone said, "Thank you, Clara." Not "what?" Not "sorry." Not "I don't understand you." Just "thank you." And something changed inside her. Not because the call was over. It wasn't. Not because she understood everything. She didn't. But because she had proof now. Proof that one phrase can give you time. And time can give you confidence. In the next part, Clara will need something even more powerful: the courage to ask them to repeat. And this is where everything changed. Because Clara discovered that phone English is not about understanding everything immediately. It is about knowing how to keep the conversation alive. You don't need to disappear when you don't understand. You can pause, you can ask, you can guide the call. And in the next part, Clara learns the phrases that give her even more time. Clara was still nervous, but now she was inside the call. And that matters because fear feels bigger before you answer. Once you answer, fear has to share space with your voice. And even a small voice can open the door. Now, Clara had one small victory. She had answered, she had confirmed her name, she had found the booking number, but the call was not over. And sometimes the hardest part of a phone call comes after the first success. Because just when you start to relax, the other person says something you don't catch. The woman from the hotel continued. "So we just need to update the card details linked to your reservation." Clara heard update, card, reservation. But one important word disappeared: linked. She did not know if it meant cancelled, changed, missing, blocked. And suddenly, one word became the whole problem. This is the moment many people pretend. They say, "yes, yes." They smile at nobody. They hope the conversation will somehow fix itself. But phone calls do not reward pretending. They reward clarity. So Clara stopped hiding. She said, "Sorry, could you repeat that, please?" Simple, polite, powerful. Not dramatic, not desperate, not childish. Just the sentence that brings the missing piece back. The woman repeated a little slower this time. "We need to update the card details linked to your reservation." And now Clara understood. Not because her English suddenly became perfect, but because she gave her brain a second chance. And sometimes that is all your brain needs, a second chance. But then the woman said another sentence, longer, faster, more detailed. And Clara felt the old pressure rising again. But now she had a stronger phrase. Not just repeat, slower. She took a breath and said, "Could you speak a little more slowly, please?" Notice what Clara is really doing here. She is not asking the word to become easy. She is asking the conversation to become human. Because speed is not the same as intelligence. And asking for clarity is not a failure. It is leadership, even on the phone. Especially on the phone. The woman slowed down, and this time the sentence landed not perfectly, but clearly enough. Clara understood the problem. Her card had expired. The hotel just needed a new payment method to keep the reservation. No disaster, no humiliation, no collapse. Just a problem, and problems can be solved. That was the second lesson. When you don't understand, you don't need to disappear. You can say, "Could you repeat that, please?" You can say, "Could you speak a little more slowly, please?" You can say, I just want to make sure I understood. These are not emergency phrases. They are confidence phrases. And now Clara was ready for the next step because asking someone to repeat gave her understanding. Asking them to slow down gave her control. But solving the problem would require something else, the courage to explain what she needed. And that's where real life English begins. Now, Clara understood the problem. Her card had expired. The reservation was still possible, but she needed to explain what she wanted. And for many learners, this is the hardest part. Not understanding, but asking for what you need. She did not know every technical word. She did not need to. She started with what she knew. I think my card has expired. Simple, honest, enough to move the conversation forward. The woman from the hotel understood. Then Clara added, "Can I update it now?" This is the real life English, not fancy English, useful English, the English that solves the next step. That was enough. The conversation moved. Now, Clara asked, "Could you send me the payment link, please?" And suddenly, the problem had a path, not just confusion, a next step. But before the link arrived, Clara needed one more phrase, a phrase for small, practical pauses. She said, "One moment, please. I'm checking my email." And again, time returned to her side. The email arrived. Clara opened the link. New card number, expiry date, security code, one detail at a time. Not fear, just steps. When she finished, she said, "I've updated it now. Could you confirm if it worked?" That sentence matters because confidence is not only speaking, confidence is closing the loop. The woman answered, "Yes, everything is updated. Your reservation is confirmed." And in that moment, it was not just the booking that changed. Clara was using English to solve real life. One last step remained. Not solving the issue, not understanding the problem, ending the call with calm, grace, and confidence. And that is where Clara goes next. She did not rush to hang up. She did something simple and powerful. She stayed present. And then she said, "Thank you so much for your help." Because confidence is not only solving, it is closing the moment with grace. The woman replied kindly, "You're very welcome." And Clara asked one last question. "So, the reservation is confirmed now, right?" A small question, a complete ending, a closed loop. The answer came. Yes, everything is updated. Your reservation is confirmed. And in that moment, it was not just the booking that changed. Clara could feel it. She had stayed in English until the very end. So Clara said, "Perfect. I really appreciate it." Not perfect grammar, not a perfect accent, but a real moment of connection. And that matters more than sounding impressive. Before hanging up, Clara said, "Have a lovely day. Goodbye." Small sentence, big shift. Because when fear leaves, space opens. And in that space, her English sounded lighter. When the call ended, the room was quiet again. But Clara was not the same woman who had stared at the ringing phone. She had not become fluent. She had become present, prepared, brave enough to stay. The call was over, but the lesson stays. Clara solved the problem. The reservation is safe, but something much bigger happened in this call. She changed inside. She didn't just speak English. She proved something to herself. She proved that she can answer, listen, ask, clarify, solve, not perfectly, but courageously. What used to feel like a trap became a bridge. Before, the phone made her freeze. Now, the phone shows her possibilities. Same world, new level of confidence. Phone English is not about sounding native. It's about being understood. It's about staying present. It's about creating solutions, not avoiding conversations. That is confidence. Clara used 5 power moves. She answered, she introduced herself, she asked for repetition, she asked for a slower pace, she explained what she needed. 5 simple phrases, 1 powerful transformation. This is the beginning, not the end. Every call strengthens your brain. Every conversation rewires your confidence. Every small victory builds your fluency. Keep going. Your English is growing. Practice is your ally. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create moments to practice. Call places, schedule appointments, ask questions, make mistakes. Try again. Practice today, live the change tomorrow. You are not alone on this journey. I'm here to help you step by step. On this channel, you'll find stories, strategies, and real-life English. And in my complete training, you can go deeper and faster. Link in the description or pinned comment. Thank you for being here. If this story helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. It helps this message reach more people. Let's keep growing together. See you in the next story.